Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Strixhaven draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. And if you would like to catch the Twitch stream live, you can do so at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. To support my work directly and gain access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet, consider checking out the Patreon at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. Without further ado, we're going to dive on in here. Okie doke. So, looking at this pack, there is a Day of Judgment, which is a very powerful card in the right deck. It fits mostly into Lorehold control, maybe Silver Quill control. Definitely a very good card. There's also Hall of Oracles, which is a card that I'm a pretty big fan of. It goes into really any deck and then just makes all of your creatures very powerful. The counter ability is very nice. And then there's Humiliate, which is a very good uncommon in the set. These cards are both reasonable, but nothing too special. This one's better than that one. Trickster and Mage Duel are at the common slot. But I think what this pick really boils down to is Hall of Oracles versus Day of Judgment. And I think I'm going to take the Hall of Oracles here. I'm glad that you're enjoying them, Carmona. Hey, BK. The reason being is that Day of Judgment doesn't even fit into all of the white decks that I want to play, which makes it even more narrow of a pick. And Hall is good in every single deck that I play, which makes it a pretty rare occurrence for a first pick type card, because a lot of the first pick cards that you take aren't good in every deck that you play. They end up only being good in like one particular house. But you have enough instants and sorceries running around that Hall of Oracles almost always gets the job done. Okie doke. So following that up, Eye Twitch is very good. It's a card that I was pretty low on initially because 1 mana 1/1 flyer, but it dies into something and it just wears counters quite well. So I think it's a very good card. There's also Frost Trickster. Frost Trickster is interesting because it's very good, but it's only very good in like a subset of decks. Because if you're not really an aggressive deck, then you're not as interested in a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Whereas pretty much any black deck is pretty happy having an Eye Twitch in it. There's also a Bayou Groff in this pack, which could wheel, which makes me even more want to take the Eye Twitch because that's a really good combo. There is a Lash of Malice too. There is a Shock. But overall, I'm just going to take the Eye Twitch here. Next pack presents itself. We see that there is a Field Trip, which is a good card. There is an Ardent Dust Speaker, which can be quite powerful in the right build. There's not really a white card to speak of. Beaming Defiance is not super powerful, so maybe black-white isn't where I'm going to want to end up. Arcane Subtraction is a little bit underrated at the moment. And then Elemental Masterpiece is just quite good. So I'm trying to start thinking of like what little combos I could go for. Ardent Dust Speaker plus Elemental Masterpiece to maybe ramp it out is pretty decent. Study plus Dust Speaker is pretty decent. Field Trip as the only green card in the pack is a little bit worrisome, but I do like that card. I don't think I'm going to take it right now, though. I think I'm going to take the Dust Speaker. I think the card is pretty good, and it works well with this Study that might wheel. And I don't know, red-blue is maybe looking open. We see a red-blue card, blue card, red card. I don't know. I think red-blue might be open based on these first couple picks we've seen, and Hall of Oracles really shines in that archetype. Okay, and now we're switching back towards blue-green or black-green with this Professor of Zoomancy. I took Hall of Oracles over it, Lollycat. I don't think Day of Judgment's bad, but I think Hall of Oracles is especially good. I like Professor of Zoomancy a lot. Guiding Voice is also a reasonable card. This can go with the Eye Twitch plan, though. The Ardent Dust Speaker was a little bit off plan, but it is still a good card, so I think it's fine to take. Containment Breach is worse in this set because there's not a ton of good enchantments running around. But Zoomancy is really good. It's a card that I've wanted to get more reps with too because it has some very good stats behind it, backing it up. There's also Silver Quill Apprentice, Guiding Voice, but we're just going to be on Zoomancy here. And now we see another copy of Eye Twitch. There's a Pigment Storm, Deadly Brew. Does do well with the Eye Twitches. And then there's Spirit Summoning and stuff. I'm just going to keep taking Eye Twitches. Could still just be black-white. With 2 Eye Twitches, Bayou Groff is getting very appealing. Oh, this is tough. It looks like black-white is open. We see a Guiding Voice. We see a Silver Quill Pledge Mage. I think this Guiding Voice is just the best card. I like Bayou Groff with Eye Twitch specifically, but I also think that that's a bit of an unreliable combo. And black-white is a better color combo than black-green. I think Guiding Voice is better than the Poet, better than the Pledge Mage. So I'm going to take the Guiding Voice. Okay, and now we have a pick between Environmental Sciences as just a lesson, a Study Break, or a Pledge Mage. I'm going to take the Pledge Mage. I don't mind Study Break at all. But I don't have any lessons to go get, and I already have a few Learn cards, and so I'm not going to take more Learn cards. And now we see some very late blue cards. Overgrown Arch still in the pack. And a Spectre of Fens. So I could just take the Overgrown Arch in case black-green is the most open color combo. I don't think I'm going to miss out on a Spectre of Fens too much, even though the card's reasonable. And this card's very good. Humiliate coming back is a huge signal. I'm just going to commit to black-white at this point, I think. We towed the line, we waited as long as we could, but getting a wheeled Humiliate's a really good sign for the deck. And now there's a Pillar Drop, a Silver Quill Pledge Mage over Pillar Drop Rescuer, I think. Just getting a cheaper card is going to be more important for my deck. We'll get a 2-drop. Take the land in case we need to splash something desperately. Arrogant Poet can be okay if you're aggressive enough. I'm not a huge fan of Arrogant Poet because it feels like sometimes you can just get in a spot where they end up erasing you effectively, but I'm liking where we're at right now. We've got a lot of great cards for the deck, and this is one of the reasons why I wasn't as big of a fan of the Day of Judgment, was because in this sort of deck, you don't really want Day of Judgment. Ooh, we got last pick Study Break. That's huge. Okay, so in this pack, looking at white-black, we've kind of committed to that. It looked very open pack 1. I'm going to maybe take Defiant Strike just because of how good it is with Silver Quill Pledge Mage. And I already have 2 of the Silver Quill Pledge Mages. So I think I'm going to do that. I wouldn't mind an Introduction to Prophecy. Again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Learn cards right now. Yeah, definitely over beaming. This one replaces itself, which is pretty nice. Keeps me churning through my deck. I'm not going to be playing the 0-1 Magecraft guy. I would think Introduction to Prophecy is my second pick by a large margin in this pack, too. Okie doke. So my first thing that I'm looking for in all of these packs is lessons, and seeing an Inkling Summoning. We're just snapping that up over anything. I'm just like eyeballing the pack. I'm like, is there a lesson? Yes, we'll take that. Eager First Year is a reasonable 2-drop, but it has a chance of wheeling. And when we have 4 Learn cards that are pretty high quality, like we were fine playing all of those in the deck. Just getting a lesson that fits the color combo is really nice. Eyeballing it for a Learn card. I mean, a lesson card. This card's not really the lesson we want because we're not really looking to splash or do anything too crazy. So we will just take a Lash of Malice as another cheap way to facilitate the Pledge Mages that we do have. Get some removal in, work with Hall of Oracles. Pretty straightforward pickup here. Pledge Mage is number 2, then the Sciences. Checking for lessons. This is a reasonable lesson to get. Sometimes you'll want it. Tendrils is really good, but we're committed to black-white at this point. This is a reasonable one to go get. I don't think you get it very often. We'll get Inkling Summoning almost every time and then see what happens from there, but now we'll take Humiliate over Lash of Malice. I think these are interesting comparison to make, but I think Humiliate's just a little bit better, and we already have the Lash of Malice, number 1. And Humiliate's just very good with our Eye Twitches and our Silver Quill Pledge Mages and things like that. I do like Silver Quill Campus as well. Pack 1 pick 1 was Hall of Oracles. Okay. Reduced to Memory is not a very good card. We could take Crushing Disappointment, I guess. It's like a burn spell that also fuels our hand a little bit. I don't think we'll ever get this card. Star Pupil's a nice addition. Essence Infusion's probably a little bit better than it would look in this sort of deck, just because going ham on an Eye Twitch is nice. But this card's also nice. Goes really well with Humiliate. Goes really well with Guiding Voice. Overall, a great pickup for the deck. Our mana's not the best, but we have this as like an extra way to get our colors and our stuff sorted. Okay, I'll just take the uncommons to build the collection equity. So we have one Inkling Summoning, which is pretty reasonable. We would like a second one and some other useful lessons, but you can't always get what you need. At this point, we'll just try to fill the vault as quickly as possible. We're not playing any of the other cards. We have 15 cards here for our deck. A 16th one if we really need it. And so pack 3 is going to be very solid for us, I'd say. Especially because Silver Quill seemed so open in pack 1. I don't think we're going to play this card, but I'll take it. I think this card's really bad. So currently our creature count is 8 non-creatures. We have 3 instants, 3 sorceries. So Hall of Oracles is still looking great. Elocution, not my favorite card, but could be playable, I guess. More playable than Ageless Guardian. Not really looking for Show of Confidence either. So the end of the pack wasn't as good, but the early stages of it were really nice. And the reason I'm taking these uncommons is because when you're looking for vault progress to get like more wild cards, it can be helpful to just take the uncommons because they fill the vault quicker. Well, we opened up a very good rare for our deck. Leonin Lightscribe is a very, very good card. And it's the best card in this pack by a mile. Next up would be Unwilling Ingredient, but they're not even in the same conversation. We also have a decent number of instants and sorceries to cast. I would like another Inkling Summoning or some sort of summoning, but Lightscribe is great. So Spirit Summoning is reasonable. What does Strict Proctor do for us? Do we have any ETBs? We do not have any Enters the Battlefield effects. 2 mana 1/3 flyer could be just a pretty nice home for a counter. I also like Spirit Summoning. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4 learn cards. How many 2-drops do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we need to prioritize the Proctor. We'll just take the Spirit Summoning. And now we get a Lash of Malice. Hi, Big Math. There is also a bunch of red-blue cards that we're seeing, but we're not going that direction. Okay, there's another Introduction to Annihilation. I don't see us ever really wanting that, though. We could take a second study break if we really needed it. We're not going to play a second Introduction to Annihilation. I don't really like Duress, really, either. Do I want Guiding Voice or Reflective Golem? Reflective Golem works with Defiant Strike, the Guiding Voice I already have. Let's just do that. Combat Professor's great. I could see playing Stonerise Spirit. Actually, we're just going to take Pest Summoning as another card that can get us more creatures. Works well with the Light Scribe. It's a fine learn card. Lesson. Wow, getting another Inkling Summoning is huge. I wouldn't mind another Star Pupil, but Inkling Summoning is great. Perfect card for our deck. For Specimens can be okay. Dusk Mage can be okay. Could always play Elocution or Crushing Disappointment. Probably Crushing Disappointment's better than Elocution. I did Games Ender, I did. Was that you? Where I like cast something and then I copied it and did 10 to you? Yeah. I thought I was really dead and then I managed to squeak together the win. So we could play Exhilarating Elocution if we really needed it. We could play Crushing Disappointment if we really needed it. So we're not playing any of these cards. So we have 2 Inkling Summonings to get. That's huge. Pest Summoning and Spirit Summoning to get. And then 1 Introduction to Annihilation. So that's really good. Sweet. I think 17 lands with the Hall of Oracles is reasonable, especially because we have a lot of learn cards. So this is 17 lands. This is all my playables. There's nothing else that I want to include. I don't want to main deck an Inkling Summonings or anything like that. So yeah, I think we're going to run it like this. Elocution could be okay. We have 12 non-creatures, but they all can get creatures and stuff, and Elocution can work with Pest Summonings and things like that. So yeah, we're going to run the deck list like this, I think, and I will see you folks in the matches.
Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support me and my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special thanks to those at the credits level. It is thanks to patrons that I'm able to steadily improve the quality of my videos and produce content on a consistent basis. Even just a couple bucks a month goes a long way, and there are a host of cool rewards you gain access to by becoming a patron. One perk of particular note is my card-by-card grade spreadsheet for Strixhaven, which will provide you with my up-to-date thoughts on every card in the set. If my content has provided you with some value, please consider supporting my work on Patreon because it really makes a big difference. Without further ado though, let's get to the matches.
Welcome to round 1. We have a great hand here. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Someone in the chat suggested we play 15 lands. But I think that we don't really have anything better to play than the lands. Do I want to play Pupil to get the extra counter on it? Or Eye Twitch? Because the counter on Eye Twitch is nice. I think I'm going to play the Pupil to get the counter on it. There's Remorse, Spear, Pledge Mage. Juke isn't very good against me. I think I'm mostly just going to try to cut them off of threats. Because I don't have any answers for the Pledge Mage. They don't have a land to play next turn. So they're going to agonize and remorse me to take my eye twitch. So I'll trade this now, put the counters onto the eye twitch. Come on, agonizing remorse me, bud. Get wrecked. Hey, Grustin. So glad you enjoy it, Harmless. I like to show people that I take the time to read them and stuff. That's a trade I'm fine with. This has been a very unfortunate game in that we're flooding out horrifically and they're a little bit short on land, so they're going to have more stuff to do. Part of it, render piece, is that I have a lot of lessons to go get, so I have more 3-drops than you'd expect. And another part of it is I just don't have good cards to play in my sideboard. Like, I just don't have better options. Like, what card in my sideboard am I supposed to play? Ancient Guardian or something? I considered waiting just to get an extra counter on this guy, but I think I have enough reason to play this. They discarded Umbral Juke. Interesting. Big draw there. They're going to get to lose that guy anyway. I'm holding my guy back on defense, though. I'll make them pay the mana to sacrifice it. Also, we have a lot of rummaging because of these extra learn cards. Huge. So they're going to cast this. I guess I should have played the Arrogant Poet first, but I can just put all the counters from that on that guy. Boom. Got the win. Look at that. We were flooding hard, but our lesson cards just came at the right time. The Hall of Oracles. Did you see how broken this card was? It put like four counters on things and just won us the game. But yeah, having a couple Inkling summonings to go get his life and death. People are saying, why am I running 17 lands here? It's like, I don't have anything I'd rather play. I'm not going to play Show of Confidence, and I'm not going to bring in one of my lessons from the sideboard, so I just don't have any other options. And I have this as a mana sink that I can use to make my cards better, and I have a bunch of learn cards that can always discard extra lands. Boom. I remember to switch this thing so you can see me a little bit better now. Study Break did a lot of good stuff there. Yeah, I agree. Okay. This is a keepable hand. It doesn't have our early drops in it, which is a real shame. We have a lot of 1s and 2s drops, so the fact that we don't have any of them here is really rough. Ooh, perfect draw. 3 drop, 4 drop. Ericus, thank you so much for the subscription. I really appreciate that. I'm not paying 2 life. Are you insane? We'll try to combine this with one of our instants. Like, we have a lot of instants and sorceries we could draw. Like that one, for example. Well, they're not casting Bookworm forever, so we'll get rid of that guy. And then we'll put the counter on the Dusk Mage so that if it dies... he gets the counter. Okay, that's reasonable. They also take more damage this way. Next turn we can go Combat Professor. And then Elocution to finish him off. Why don't I like Show of Confidence? Because it's just too hard to set up. So they can get rid of my Light Scribe. So I can hit them for 5. Still jump that guy, though. Beautiful. So now they're dead to my stuff next turn. Oh, they've got a reach creature. Of course they do. They might still be dead. Gosh. Definitely putting it there. Oh, and then I just get Introduction to Annihilation. I'm surprised they didn't just wait to see what they drew. Okay, having access to the Annihilation is kind of nice. Not gonna lie. I'm so glad you're enjoying them, Icarus. Euricus. Thank you for the subscription. Okay, on the play. We'll keep this. We don't have a 2-drop, but we can humiliate on turn 2 if we need to. Can get rid of Divide by 0. I can kill their Spectacle Mage with Lash of Malice. Poor timing on that draw. So currently, we know they have 3 cards that are pretty useless. And we just need to draw a land. Actually, we need to draw 2 lands. Green Strix, yep. Dream Strix is really good. So we can get some lifelink action going. So if I put 2 counters onto the eye twitch, everything else gets +1/+1. So that means that can trade, that can trade. Just gonna go as big as possible before I do anything. And if they're willing to trade a 3/2 flyer for my 2/1, it's a little bit odd. Weird. Wonder what prompted that. Just seems horrible. Okay, Inkling Summoning. I guess they really just want to get this thing going, maybe. Hopefully we draw another land so we can go boom boom and then just start jamming these things. I'm gonna be totally fine if they cast Elemental Masterpiece. If they attack with this is also fine. Elocution's gonna be pretty good here, yeah. Of himself. if they go for some weird pump spell on this guy. Wait, let's just let the card resolve first. So you might be wondering, why didn't I do that to get lifelink before? But that was because they had the +3/+1. They could have saved their guy. So they're dead to this next turn if they tap out for the 5/4, for the 4/4. Three, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to do this. It's safer. It doesn't require targeting. Also, I should have gone the other way. So I have a planes up. Never mind. I'm a genius. They have more guiding lights than other things. They're still in horrible shape. They could have a board wipe. They have one, they have one. We can rebuild relatively effectively. Yeah, they're dead. Never mind, I'm a genius. Yeah, exactly. Because I have more white 1-drops than black 1-drops. But I drew the black 1-drop. Like, I could have drawn Star Pupil, and then I'm like, wow, what have I done? Like, let's just look at the deck composition. I think I had one card that made me look smart there. Yeah, I had one more Eye Twitch, and I had Star Pupil and 2 Guiding Voices and a Defiant Strike. So it's like, definitely should have held up the planes.
Elocution would have been okay, but unnecessary ultimately. It's pretty good in this deck, though, I think. One drop into Humiliate seems like one of the best starts possible in the format, and I have 3 1-drops to facilitate that. Best start to Kuno. Hello. I think I might go this second, though. Because then I get extra buffs. Because I get an extra 2 damage in this way. I'm actually okay if they play this guy. Kind of worried about God's Willing. This thing's really good. So next turn if they play this, I mean, they're going to be tapped out. They're not going to be able to use God's Willing. If they play a 2-drop, they will, but I don't really have removal spells anyway. Can get rid of the Mentor. Yeah, I can't attack through it if they make it a 4/4. Everything else I can do. I can manage.
The 1/4 is a little bit irritating. That's a heck of a draw. Thank you so much, D. Carmona. I appreciate that. Let's just do this for now. Make the board a little bit wider before we go for it. And they can't attack us with this thing. This gives +2/+2 to all my creatures. Feels annoying to take a foot off the gas, but I think it's correct. Okay, so they have nothing. I think we can kill them here maybe, or put a devastating blow into them. So we don't need to buff this guy. So if we give this guy +2/+2 counters, if we give this guy 2 counters, this will make him a 5/5. And this thing will become a 4/4. If this thing becomes a 4/4, it also gets buffed to become a 5/5. And then they double block it, and they take 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna put the 2 counters there. Where do I want to attack here? I probably want to buff this guy and send them all. They can block this guy, double block. They take 9, and they're basically dead. Yeah, I'm going to definitely kill the 2/5. So this thing plus Crushing Disappointment kills them. Two Vigilance guys, eh? Sure. 2, 3. So they can double block the ground guy. They're probably not going to jump there. Got him. Boom. We're cruising, folks. Right back into the queue we go. This deck is really good. I think the attack with the Light Mage to put them to 4 just puts them in such a tricky spot. I think also taking the 3/3 was really important with our Humiliate. Ironically, when I took the quiz, I got Silver Quill for like which college are you? But I was kind of sad because I wanted to be Quandrix because I do a lot of math and science in school actually. But Silver Quill was the one that I got when I did the first time. And then, of course, as you do with these sorts of quizzes, you're like, well, which answer could I switch? Well, I guess I could say that my favorite type of token is not the elemental token or whatever. And then I ended up doing it, so I got all of the guilds because I was just like wondering how I could switch my answers, or all of the colleges. But Silverquill was the one I got first. Iron Chef. On the play, no black mana, have to mulligan. Again, we don't have black mana, but we have actual one card we can cast. We're gonna ditch the planes. Beautiful. So the reason we're doing this guy first is partly because he's lower priority, but also because next turn we can go Light Scribe into Eye Twitch if we want. Because we have limited black mana. And we're doing it like this because now if we draw another land, we can go Guiding Voice into Inkling Summoning immediately. They're playing red-green. Wild. So that's beautiful. So we go Guiding Voice onto our... Light Scribe's probably going to be holding back more, so we'll put this onto our Arrogant Poet. So I can either attack with everything this turn, hit them for 5, 8, 14. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That sounds good. Decline. If they want to chump, they can also chump this guy and take 1 less damage only. That was a pretty good mulligan, it gotta be said. Quandrix is actually the best guild in terms of, second best guild in terms of win rate. It goes Silverquill, then Quandrix based on 17 lands data. That Swamp on 2 was chef's kiss, indeed. I did have to mulligan, so getting a little bit lucky after a mulligan feels good. How about people being like, no, don't play 17? Because I feel like we've had a lot of uses for our mana and just never wanted to miss land drops. Even that one game where we flooded out horribly. The extra lands have been nice. No, that's not why at all, Wildrock. It just, I feel like those happen to be the guilds that have been open. Maybe those guilds are open more frequently because there's more playable cards for them. That might be it. But I haven't been avoiding any guilds, if that makes sense. It's not like I've been like, oh, I have to play Quandrix and Silverquill. I didn't know that data until after I'd already been playing Quandrix and Silverquill basically exclusively. I think it needs some interaction, Smeth. It doesn't have to be mage duels. It could be like the punch spell that's the uncommon. It could be like decisive denial or whatever. Kiddo, we will keep this. Hoping to draw a 2-drop maybe, but we can always just humiliate them. That's reasonable. We'll go Pledge Mage, Pledge Mage. See what we do from there. I'm not actually scared of Simone really right now. Why would they activate that now? There we go. Not going to attack with what's going to be a very nice evasive threat. Sure. So do I want to humiliate this turn or next turn? Probably next turn. I want to get my flyer into play. Yeah, I did kind of do the trade that I said I wasn't going to make last turn, but I needed to do it in order to bait them into blocking with my other guy, I think. I don't know. Hi, Trelevin. Nice to see you. So maybe I messed that up. Maybe I'm just supposed to keep Silverquill back. I don't really particularly want to trade it for Zimone. Okay, so they have only 5 lands. They can't do anything too devastating to me. So this thing's useless. This thing's pretty bad right now. Fogwork Archivist is kind of scary. Keep getting flyers. Not afraid of their hand at all now that I've taken out the Archivist. Yeah, it was profitable. Certainly. Wow, the attack. Bold, bold, bold. Now they're just dead. Got the win. Pest Summoning was not the best card, but I'm glad we saved the Humiliate. So I guess we could have taken their 3-mana rock and they wouldn't have been able to do much. Let's go for the 7-0. Thank you, by the way, everybody who tunes in, everybody who just watches my content. It's really awesome that we have such a great community here online. And everyone's always so positive. It's always fun to hang out with all you folks. You have great questions and feedback, and it's always fun. So thank you so much, everyone who's hanging out and everyone who watches the YouTube video and all that stuff. It's very awesome. Really cool. Now let's get this 7th win. Heck yes. 1-drop, 2-drop. Leona into Defiant Strike. What a dream. Perfect draw. Time to dumpster them. Nice, Grustin. I don't know if the cogwork is actually good, but that was just my experience with it. I think I'm going to play the Arrogant Poet. No, because White Man is my choking point, so I think I am going to play this guy, actually. Because next turn I can go Poet plus Guiding Voice. Thank goodness they didn't kill my guy. Light Scribe is such a beating. If they don't kill the Light Scribe this turn, they're just dead next turn. Like, what? Oh yeah, the Discord server's awesome. People just, like, draft with each other and do all that fun stuff. It's wild. So if they don't have, like, 3 mana deal 4, do they kill this guy? Oh, they're attacking me? Sure. That's pretty good here, I guess. It's a nice little removal spell action. 3 mana, 2/1, deal 1 essentially. 4 mana actually. Okay, so we are in a bit of trouble now. Thank you so much, Icy Storm Phoenix, for the subscription. I really appreciate that. So, a little bit unfortunate that they had 2 good removal spells there. Makes this game more of a challenge. I still have them on a 4-turn clock, though. They have me on a 5-turn clock. This thing can chump this for a turn if we need to. Does this have reach? No, it does not. We're going to see what we're working with here. It's not the greatest situation. The Mentor's pretty irritating. Might have to hold back and go for a quad block. Oh, they do have a spell. Bold strategy. Oh my gosh. Completely wrecked. I'm shocked that it would tap me like that. What the heck? Well, you can't win them all, but that feels heinous. Actually, it's not the end of the world. We get to double spell now, so this can get flying and lifelink. Just a tad bit confused on what Auto Tapper was thinking, but you know, it'll all work out. It was probably thinking in the long term, because it wants me to be able to give this flying and lifelink. Like if they just play a ground creature here instead of another removal spell. Oh my gosh, of course they have another removal spell. Cool, Brohim. Oh, the pain. Yeah, not the end of the world. We can still get him. 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure. Holy hell. Their hand is so good against me. I'm just going to have to rely on them missing a land drop, I guess. They can eat my eye twitch, but I get to deal 3 to them. Ouch. So they can kill my guy. Okay, okay. So now we're chillaxing. Yes! Woo! I was gonna go get my intro to Annihilation. I have the killer thing. Wow, that game was looking rough for a little bit. It was looking tough, but those eye twitches getting the job done. 7-0. Let's go. Wow, that was looking rough when they went academic dispute closing statement that one turn, but then they couldn't hit their lands. We managed to get rid of that combat professor with a nice little clever use of the humiliate. Crushing Disappointment was really good in our deck. Heck yes. 7-0. Undefeated. That's what we're looking at. Thank you, Kurokiri. I appreciate that. All of the hype in the chat. Awesome stuff. That was a hard-fought game. Our opponent really battled us there all the way. Every card in this deck performed, I'd say. I loved... Exhilarating Elocution and Crushing Disappointment were two of the cards that I wasn't really happy to be playing, but Crushing Disappointment did work that whole draft. The 2 damage was relevant, and the card draw was nice. Elocution was decent in a couple spots. Dusk Mage was not great, but Pledge Mage, all of these learn cards. We had the 2 Inkling summonings to go get were super clutch. We even got Introduction to Annihilation. And in that last game, we were probably going to get Pest Summoning to chump or Spirit Summoning. We were going to get Annihilation, but if that wasn't an option, we would have gotten some chumpers. But very good deck. Got that 7-win and 0-loss run. Thank you, Perez. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Awesome stuff all around. Great chat energy the whole time. We had so many 1-drops, 2 eye twitches, Star Pupil. Guiding Voice was excellent. Defiant Strike. Leonin Light Scribe. This is the best Leonin Light Scribe deck I've had. I've had him in one other deck, and he was not maximized there. This was absolutely fantastic for him. Humiliate did work. Lash did work. Arrogant Poet. Even Hunt for Specimens was great in the games where we needed it. So overall, a fantastic deck. I think Leech Fanatic is the only card in the deck that we never drew, which is kind of funny. But, I mean, it was probably one of our worst cards, too, so not disappointed. Eye Twitch did a lot of work there. That last game, swinging in for lethal with 2 Eye Twitches for Xaxes. Awesome stuff. That is going to do it for this draft video, though. If you were watching it on YouTube and you made it all the way till the end, in the comments section down below, leave hashtag perfect run or hashtag perfect perfect scribe or perfect just hashtag perfect run because we made it all the way to the end, or perfect silver quill or something like that to let me know we made it all the way till the end of the video. It was really a blast. Getting to max wins with no loss is always an exciting moment. The cheap threats were really awesome. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. It's free to do. It helps more people find the video and lets me know that the video is something that you enjoy and want to see more of. Also, subscribe to the channel to get access to more Strixhaven videos. I mean, you'll get notified if you click that little bell icon, or you'll just be able to have them in your feed if you subscribe. And it's awesome to have folks that come back and watch multiple of the videos if they're enjoying them. And you can also leave a comment with your questions, thoughts, feedback And if you want to support my work directly, gain access to my card-by-card grade spreadsheet or one of the other cool rewards for becoming a patron and supporting my work, you can do so at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. I truly appreciate all of the additional support that my Patreon has been getting recently. It really helps me continue making these videos. Also, if you want to join the Discord server, or check out the Twitch stream, or read my articles, all of those are linked in the description and pinned comment down below as well. That is going to do it for this draft video, though. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.